Congratulations to the New York Liberty on being the 2024 WNBA champs, the first championship in franchise history. Man, what a series. What a series. The Libs win this one over the Lynx 67-62 in overtime. This final series went down to game five, and each game one through game five, they were all instant classics. They were all games that we're excited to watch back, and we're able to witness history. A lot of pressure in game five. You had the feeling and the mentality for both teams that there was so much on the line, and that by the time you get to game five in a series, you know everything about your opponent. You know what they're trying to do, what they're not trying to do, what adjustments they're going to make. And so it was an all out battle. And it was a low scoring game for the actual championship game of the 2024 WNBA season. Sabrina and Breanna Stewart were held scoreless in the first quarter. Again, the defense from the Lynx, something we've seen all season, but it was really consistent in game five. I felt like New York's offense was a bit stagnant. It didn't flow necessarily. And the Lynx went up 7 at halftime, looked in control at Barclays Center. Second half, an X factor emerges for the New York Liberty. It's Nyara Sabally. Off the bench, Nyara Sabally came in and really gave the Libs energy and effort, cutting without the ball, scoring inside, also getting some steals and playing some defense. She was really a difference maker. Sabally finished with 13 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block. What a huge game for her off the bench for New York. You get to the fourth quarter of this game, and it was pretty back and forth. Again, you could feel how much both teams really had a lot on the line. Napheesa Collier, man, I think Fee gave us all that she could. 22 points, 7 rebounds. She also had 2 blocks and shot over 50% from the field. Kayla McBride stepped up as the veteran that we know her to be. She dropped 21 points, also had 5 assists and 4 steals. I thought Kayla McBride, the last 2 games of this series, really stepped up and scored the basketball for the Lynx. Fast forward to the end of the game. It's less than a minute left. Stewie is on the line for the Liberty with 38 seconds left. They are down by 2, and she's got 2 free throws to make in order to tie the game. She misses both. This was not the first time in which we've seen Breanna Stewart miss clutch free throws in this series, but it also won't be the last time she has an opportunity to make free throws. Sabrina Ionescu, a monumental, iconic game 3 winner. ISO, she will go down in Libs history for winning game 3 for them. But in games 4 and 5, did not shoot the ball well for the Liberty. In game 5 specifically, she only finished with 5 points. Sab was 1 of 19 from the field, though she did contribute 8 assists and still facilitating for the Libs, but they missed a ton of her scoring. We get to the end of regulation. New York is taking the ball side out. They go right into Stewie. Stewie takes 1 dribble, pulls up for a jump shot, and she's fouled-ish by Alana Smith of the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx asked to review this call. They challenge it, and the referees come back and say that, yes, Stewie was fouled. And so she goes to the free throw line with a little less than 5 seconds left and has the chance to tie up this game. So she missed the first 2 free throws almost a minute ago, but then she gets a chance at redemption, and now she knocks these 2 down. The Lynx inbound the ball with about 5 seconds left. Again, tie game. Kayla McBride attempts a 3, isn't able to get it to go, and we're headed to overtime for game 5. Yes, more basketball. Let's go. Overtime happens, and quite honestly, the Lynx crumbled and the Libs rose to victory. I felt like the Liberty came out with more confidence, more momentum, but honestly, they didn't turn the ball over. They scored the basketball when they needed to, and the Lynx unfortunately just had some untimely turnovers. You look back at the game of Breanna Stewart, 13 points, 15 rebounds. She also had 4 assists and 3 blocks. This is the 3rd championship that Stewie has won. It's Sabrina Ionescu's first championship for New York. And for the Lynx, what an amazing season. I mean, Cheryl Reeve pulled off, or almost pulled off, one of the best coaching jobs we've ever seen in the W. Kayla McBride had called this team a bunch of misfits that they pulled together and played tremendous basketball on both sides of the floor. But how did they lose this series? How did they get to this point and lose this series? First, I think it was turnovers. I think turnovers had been a calling card of the Minnesota Lynx throughout this series, and they did not take care of the ball in game 5, 17 turnovers. And then the free throw line difference. Man, the Lynx only got to the free throw line 8 times in game 5. They made 7 of those. Meanwhile, the Libs got to the free throw line 25 times and made 21 of those. That right there. I mean, you look at the Liberty, they scored 67 points. 21 of those came off the free throw line. That's almost a third of their points. And so I felt like the Lynx had trouble defending without fouling, especially being on the road at New York. And it didn't allow them to get what they were looking for, a 5th championship, which would have been record leading in the W. On the other side for New York, how were they able to get it done? It was almost a Cinderella story to me, getting to the free throw line. The depth on this team. Leone Fibic scored the most points in a postseason as a rookie. You talk about the MVP and Jonquel Jones, who played consistent in this series. JJ did nothing else than what we've seen her do the entire season. Because of the matchups in this series, New York knew that she needed to win her battle, and she did. Extremely impressed with what we've seen from JJ. She's won almost every award that we can think of in the W. 6-woman player of the year, most improved player. She's been an MVP, and now she's a finals MVP. Congratulations, JJ. And then New York being a super team. I mean, we're going to tell the truth here. They created this team in order to stop the Las Vegas Aces from a three-peat. They were able to beat the Aces in the semifinals and then continued and finished their goal and their dream and their journey of winning a championship, and they won it at home. I know there's a lot of fans that are saying, hey, was New York given a ton of home court advantage? Honestly, you work to be the #1 seed in order to get home court advantage. You work to be the #1 seed so that when it's game 5 and things are on the line, you're at home, in front of your home crowd, in front of the refs, on your home crowd. So yes, could there have been a difference in terms of how the fouls were called? Might have there been a home court advantage? I know Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, had a New York skyline dress on, and maybe some of us think that she was being a bit biased. I disagree. I think Kathy was wearing a New York skyline dress because the WNBA championship, game 5, was in New York, in Barclays Center. How much bigger can that be for the WNBA and where the game has grown? We've seen this final series have a record number in terms of audience going to the games, but also viewers. What a fantastic and historic WNBA season, from the rookies, from the vets, from the dominance of Asia Wilson to Nafisa Collier to Caitlin Clark, and then the New York Liberty clinching their first championship as a franchise. What an awesome story they have written. Congratulations to Sandy Brondello and that franchise. I'm so thankful to have covered this season. It was amazing. Congratulations to the New York Liberty on clinching their first championship as a franchise.